grassroots racers and fans to gather round. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for joining us for our landmark 40th season. We are your destination for news and interviews within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and from the world of motorsports. The Racing Roundup Show is America's longest running weekly motorsports show held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, how are you? Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday night. We're hanging out at Polly's Pub and Eatery. It's July 23rd, a gorgeous night. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We've got a lot to cover, a lot to talk about in the world of motorsports. This is our 40th season. Yeah, it's our 40th season, and if you haven't been here yet, you better get here soon. We've got a lot of fun things to talk about tonight and next week at Polly's before we go on the road to Kaukauna for the big Gandry Performance 250 Midwest Truck Series night. That's our next road show on Tuesday, August 6th at Wisconsin International Raceway. Hey, we're live every Tuesday night on Facebook and live on demand through our website, racingroundupshow.com. On our YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe button and share with your friends and tell them you like the show. Hey, set your DVRs as well. We have a Saturday TV show. We're looking forward to seeing you and your reactions to that. We love doing it. Spread the word. Every week, portions of our Tuesday show are on a 90-minute program on Saturdays on CW18 Milwaukee at 11:30 in the morning on Saturdays. All of our sponsors are important to us, and I'd like to single out a few of them, thanking them for their support of our 40th season. Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment, Great Lakes Dragway, Adams Towing, Wares Machine, and Central Services Company, whose lawn and mulch bed weed control keeps my grass green and dandelion free. It's looking awesome. I got to cut it a lot because it's really good and lush. Please support our sponsors and tell them you heard it here or saw their ad on the Racing Roundup Show. Here's our schedule for tonight. I'm excited just to know who's going to be on, and it's going to be awesome. Two-time IRA Outlaw Sprints champion, Scotty Neitzel, who's here to promote this Friday's race at Dodge County Fairgrounds. It's IRA Sprint Cars, MSA 360 Sprint Cars. It's the Harry Neitzel Tribute Race. They put his dad's name on it the last couple of years, and it's great to know that Scotty's here. He brought some tickets to give away after the show as well. So come on down and join us for that. Gildan Racing, Super Late Model Racing teammates. When they're not driving, they're each other's crew chief. John Beal and Dalton Zero here, guys. Thanks for making the trip from Verona. We appreciate it very much. Wisconsin NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Xfinity Series driver who just came off the Brickyard this past weekend. Josh Balicki's in the house tonight. Thank you, Josh. From way far away, Menominee Falls, who I think I'm the only guy in the NASCAR circuit that can pronounce Menominee Falls. But either way, we're going to have a lot of fun. We also have Lou Goss joining us today. He races at Wisconsin International Raceway. He's got a super late model, aspirations to go ARCA racing as well. I know he also had a NASCAR truck at one point in time, so we'll talk to him. And he also is an Alan Quickie Scholarship recipient at UW Milwaukee in engineering. So we'll talk to him a little bit about that because last time we saw him, we were actually at UWM in the hall talking to him on the anniversary of Alan Quickie's 30th year of his passing. So that weekend was last April, like over a year ago now. So we'll talk to Lou again. We'll catch up to see what he's up to. And his son, I think, has got a go-kart now, too. We're talking live video with World of Outlaws late model point leader Brandon Shepard, previewing this Monday night's first ever race at Wilmot Raceway. Bill Holland goes in the groove at the Tom Refter 88 Classic at La Crosse, plus the Interstate Batteries NASCAR report and the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track report. Yeah, we're getting right to it after these messages from our valued sponsors. Stick around. You're listening and watching us on the Racing Roundup Show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors. Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
For your next purge or project, go with the pros. Source Services. Champion driver and Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer Dan Source founded Source Services in 1988 with one truck, one employee, and a tireless work ethic. Through the dedicated work of Dan and his employees, Source Services LLC is Southeastern Wisconsin's leading waste container rental company. Dropped and picked up by professionals, you can rent a dumpster for up to 60 days. Source Services sorts and recycles to reduce the amount of waste going into landfills. Go with the pros at sourceservices.com.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or Short Tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
Walter Inc. is hiring. Walter is on a mission to move, store, and power the world more efficiently. Walter is a rapidly growing forklift distributor and is currently seeking skilled technicians to repair forklifts, industrial batteries, generators, and beyond. Apply today at walterinc.com/careers. Walter is looking for mechanically inclined individuals to join the racers that work there. Become part of a team that is connected like family and committed to making an impact. Discover open technician positions and more at walterinc.com/careers.
And now to Cruise Alaska with Making Memories Travel next September. Enjoy an unforgettable 7-day Alaskan cruise from Vancouver on the Norwegian Jade. Juneau and Hubbard Glacier are just two of the cities that await you. Hike up snow-capped mountains and witness majestic whales splash in the Pacific. Cruise Alaska. Contact Mark at Making Memories Travel today.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday evening. Hey, if you're looking to sell or buy a home or commercial property, you want to choose the Rapina Group, Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. They can buy or sell your home or property with confidence. They have the knowledge to get your deal done. Sell your house with the Rapina Group, hire knowledge, choose Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty, and list it with the Rapina Group. Their website is rapinagroup.com. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. We're so pleased to know that the World of Outlaw late models are making their very first trip to the Wilmot Raceway this coming Monday night. We have current point leader and four-time World of Outlaws KC Equipment late model champion on our video feed right now. Let's welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, Brandon Shepard. Brandon, how are you tonight?
Good. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited. I know you don't get that excited except when you're in the middle of a heated race. You got a few days between some really big races coming up. I want to talk about Monday night, Wilmot Raceway. Have you ever been there before? It's the series' first time there, but have you been to the racetrack on Kenosha County Fairgrounds?
I have, actually. I was there in 2012 for a Summer Nationals race, and then in 2013 for a Summer Nationals race. So definitely was a fun little racetrack, and I'm super excited to get back there.
And then it's in the middle of two $50,000 win races, so it's kind of cool that we get a chance to see you guys right in the prime of things. I do know recently, Brandon, you said something about, hey, the confidence is up, but we're not at our peak where we need to be right now. How do you get to that level? You're already there, man. You won 3 races in the last couple weeks. You're leading the points. What do you need to find yet?
The win column isn't where we would like it to be at this point in the year, and the competition's really tough. Our consistency's there. We just haven't been able to capitalize exactly the way that we wanted to on a few of them, but we've been right in the hunt. So we're excited about the success that we are having, but like I said, we're lacking a little bit in the win column where we really need to improve. So, from my point of view, we're chasing Bobby Pierce right now. His stuff's been really good, and he's been the guy to beat pretty much all year long. So I feel like we're to the point where we can race with them now. We just got to have a few things go our way, and Fairbury and is a place that I've had a lot of success at over the years. So excited to get there, and Cedar Lake also, and then Wilmot. We've been there 2 times, and I had a really good car there both times I was there, and I think I ran second in 2013 at the Summer Nationals race, and then I had a flat tire leading the first year when I was there, Summer Nationals in 2012. So just super excited for the races coming up. They're some of my favorite places to go, and just ready to get rolling.
Brandon Shepard joining us here on the Racing Roundup Show. He's the current point leader in the World of Outlaw late model series, coming to Wilmot for the very first time. And as you mentioned, Brandon, you've been here before. Did you remember those times? Were you one of those elephant drivers where it's like, okay, I remember that track because I did this, this, and this, and this, or do you have to look at your notes to see what you did last time you were there?
No, I remember Wilmot. It's definitely a unique place. And, like I said, we had some success there and we had a lot of speed there. So, it was one of them places that was, one of the ones that kind of got away on them couple years Summer Nationals, because the first one, like I said, we only won one Summer Nationals race that year in 2012, and I was leading that one when I got a flat. So that was, one of them ones that got away that year, and hopefully we can turn our luck around there for sure. Like I said, that's a cool little place, and it's usually those 2 times that I was there, it was a really fun track to race on. So we're just excited to get some more elbows up racing.
What a great honor it is to have Brandon Shepard on our show. He's won a lot of races. He's raced all over the country. He is one of the most revered racers when it comes to dirt late model racing, period. Teaming up with the Shepard Riggs Racing Longhorn Factory team, and that's back home for you. Last year and this year, you got a chance to be around your family, and you got a chance to bring your kids on the road. It's got to be kind of cool knowing all the successes you've had. It was still like, I need to do this again. I need to get back to what I want to do and get a Longhorn with you. What's that progression been like, working with Arpin and those guys and getting the direct support and getting the involvement of a factory effort like that?
It's been cool. It's been a lot of fun. They're great guys, good people to work with, and same with the Riggs family. And they strive for us to win races. So, us working together, it's definitely been tough, me adjusting to the cars compared to the rocket cars that I was in before. But, it's no hill for a climber, you know what I mean? We just had to keep working at it and find what works for me. And that's been a tough road, but like I said, we've got a lot more consistent over the past few months here. We're able to click off a few wins, and but like I said, it's not good enough for us. We want more, and we're just going to keep working hard, and hopefully we can get there.
18 top fives in 24 races thus far. You had 18 top fives all of last year over 38 races, and now you're coming home, so to speak, out of New Berlin, Illinois. It's about a 4.5-hour drive to Wilmot, but you got Fairbury in there, and you also got going up to Cedar Lake, so it's going to be kind of cool being around some people that have seen you race a bunch, and I imagine the fan base is pretty aggressive when it comes to seeing you race at tracks in Illinois and Wisconsin.
Absolutely. We have a lot of great fans at Fairbury, and I've also made a lot of great fans at Cedar Lake over the years, too, and a lot of great friends up that direction. So, like I said, super excited for both places. They always race really well, and these are probably two of my favorite races and racetracks to go to all year. And I don't think we went anywhere early in the week before Cedar Lake last year. If I did, I apologize for that. But seems like it's been a few years since we've went anywhere on Monday and Tuesday before Cedar Lake. So I'm super excited to have something to do on the way up to Cedar Lake from Fairbury. And Wilmot seems like a great place to do it at for sure.
Brandon Shepard joining us for just a few more moments. He's busy getting a lot of things done. Gates open at 5. We're hot lapping at 6:30 this coming Monday night. Brandon, what's your approach? That midweek race between two big event weekends. You're racing for $10,000 to win on Monday night. That's good dough. What's the approach to getting the car right for hot laps? Take maybe the fans when they walk through the gates. What should they expect to see right off the bat when you hit the racetrack?
Well, when you get your package close to where it needs to be, you really just kind of change the small things from track to track. And we've been there before, so we have a little bit of an idea what to expect. Obviously, we were in different cars then, and but there's also a lot of guys right now that have some good success and some good consistency behind them. And so it's going to be tough competition there at Wilmot for sure. But, for the most part, we're kind of going to be guessing on gears because I don't have my notes from that far back. But like I said, it's one of them deals when you get your car pretty close, you kind of have an idea of where you need to be at from track to track, and high bank tracks to flat tracks to big or small or anything in between. So I feel like we've got a pretty good package right now that we can unload most places and be close just with some small little tweaks. So
looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch you pick up your 4th win on the year. It's going to happen this Monday night. If it ain't going to happen in February, looking forward to seeing you in person to see a race at one of our favorite tracks, Wilmot Raceway. Hey, everybody, how about a hand for Brandon Shepard joining us here tonight on the show. Thanks, B. Shep. We really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Brandon Shepard on the Racing Roundup program, racing this coming Monday night, July 29th at Wilmot Raceway. Go to wilmotraceway.com for details. We'll be right back. Cool. That was awesome. Thank you, Brandon, very much. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
You
appreciate
bet.
It.
Thank you.
All right.
We're going to take a commercial break. We're hanging out here at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Dallas. We're having a bunch of fun. Racers are pouring in. We've got Dalton Zier hanging out right here with John Beal. We've got Jordan's making an appearance. Hi, Jordan. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Ralph Hibbard's here from Greenfield Gallery, who's our wonderful host last week when we were at the Greenfield Gallery Car Show. Thank you, Ralph, for hosting us last Tuesday night. We had a bunch of fun at Heaven City Property. GreenfieldGallery.net is where you want to go shopping, or go to eBay, Greenfield Gallery Sales 2, the number 2, on eBay to look at all the great stuff he has. And he's here tonight if you want to talk to him about, hey, if you have a picture of something, or if you got to find a special collectible, Ralph's your guy. We'll be right back after these messages on the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And attention contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. And who doesn't like more cash? Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Dallas and Waukesha. If you have questions, give them a call. 414-321-4134. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Attention race fans. When you need expert tree trimming, or it's finally time for tree removal or stump grinding, there's only one name to call: Making the Cut. Fully insured arborists. Making the Cut has the knowledge and equipment to get the job done right in Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine counties. They specialize in removing trees from structures and offer 24/7 emergency storm service. You've probably seen the yard signs. Now it's your turn to request an estimate. Call 414-750-2525 or visit mtctree.com. Make the right call, race fans. When it's time for expert tree work in your yard, it's Making the Cut.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much.
American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
Precise Auto and Truck Accessories is your one-stop shop when it comes to adding style and functionality to your vehicles. Owner and late model racer Mike Grunberg has 15 years of experience installing window tinting, cat skin leather, seat heaters, and seat coolers. There's a million accessories available. Ladder racks, trailer hitches, detailing, remote starters, and more. Precise Auto and Truck Accessories in Wisconsin Dells is a WeatherTech Diamond dealer. Bring your vehicle to the trusted guy, Mike Grunberg at Precise Auto and Truck Accessories.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
Hey, welcome back to the program. This portion of the show is brought to you by BMRE Electric Carts in Random Lake, now selling street-legal golf carts. Brad Miller is Wisconsin's only Icon electric cart dealer and has in-stock inventory and customizing options right now on their website, actually on their Facebook page. Go there. Facebook page, BMRE Electric Carts Company. They also have Icon e-bikes. They go 25 miles per hour and go 25 miles between charges, and now selling Be Cooler on a BMRE electric scooter. Hey, we've got a lot of prizes to give away tonight here at Paulie's Pub and Eatery after the program, including 2 tickets to Monday night's World of Outlaws late model race at Wilmot Raceway. Thank you, Chris Klemko and Wilmot Raceway. We have 2 tickets to Sunday night, Angel Park Speedway's Racer Reunion Night, and the first ever Badger Midget Hall of Fame induction. That's at 1 o'clock. Doors open at 4 o'clock for the Wisconsin Wingless and Badger Midgets on Sunday night. We got 2 tickets for that. Thank you, Greg McCarns. We also have 2 pair of tickets to this Friday night's Dodge County Fairgrounds Harry Nitel Tribute. That's the MSA and IRA World of IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars. They're racing Friday night at the Big Horsepower Half Mile Dodge County Fairgrounds. We also have $20 off oil change coupons from our friends at Jiffy Lube. We'll hand those out at the end of the show if you didn't win anything. We got those for you here to grab after the program. We also have bottles of Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup and bags of Anderson's Maple Nut Popcorn. It's really good, caramel corn. A set of 4 race tickets to any Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. It's a great entertainment every Saturday night. We also have car washes from Full Service Car Wash, an original, 3rd generation, locally family-owned and operated Milwaukee small business since 1986. Unlimited car washes start at just $14.99 a month. Full Service Car Wash is the best deal for keeping your car clean with locations at Hills Corners, Wauwatosa, Grafton, and West Bend. We also have some great collectibles and photos from our friend Mary Fraundorf and collectibles from Greenfield Gallery, where they're always buying racing collections. I want to also tell you that there's a big weekend of racing coming up at Great Lakes Dragway this weekend. It's a big 2-day event at Great Lakes Dragway. The Mopar AMC Festival is this Saturday and Sunday at Great Lakes Dragway. There's going to be so much to see and do throughout the weekend. You do not want to miss it. There'll be a car show, swap meet, and drag racing. The Chicago Wise Guys are also racing both days. Tickets are $25. Kids ages 10 to 15, $12. 9 and under free. The Mopar AMC Festival is this Saturday and Sunday, July 27 and 28 at the legendary Great Lakes Dragway. Do not miss it. GreatLakesDragaway.com is the website. So happy to have this next guest on our program. We're going to tape this up just nice for what I got to do for all things cool. And he's really cool to be with us tonight. Here we go. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us on this program. We are a very special guest joining us. He races an MSA sprint car. We got T-shirts that he has sold at the Chili Bowl. He's racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's raced in the NASCAR Xfinity Series last week at Indianapolis. Now he's sitting right next to me. How about a big hand for Josh Policki? Josh, thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Perfect time to say it's the Interstate Batteries NASCAR Report. Interstate Batteries has a battery for every need. Interstate Batteries is a proud sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing, and you have an opportunity to race with one of the best teams in NASCAR, JGR, this year in the Xfinity Series. My son and I were watching and holding our breath in the chances you got in that car. You got a chance to race with Mario Goslin as well this year. How are all things going? Because I know you are working so hard at making this happen.
Well, in January, it wasn't looking like it was going to be a great year, honestly, and I've raced a lot more than I thought. In February, my goal was to race every single weekend, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's sprint cars, whether it's sports car racing, and I've just been very, very blessed to have multiple different categories of racing. So it's been a pretty good year. The results might not reflect it. I mean, running top 3 in the Joe Gibbs car, we get spun out, which is very common, and you know it's unfortunate, but it's how the racing has become. And I've never really been one to lay the bumper on somebody, but it's almost like if you don't lay the bumper and if you're not racing aggressive, you're probably going to get spun. So maybe it's time to change my mindset going into my next race with Gibbs. But
the expectation is there, and you matched that expectation. You were on screen the entire race.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to run inside the top 3. You know, finish 4th in stage 1, 3rd in stage 2. I think with a small adjustment, we could have fought for the win. And unfortunately, we just got spun out. But a super cool opportunity, super thankful to all the partners that came on board to make that happen. We have one more later this year. Can't say where yet. We were supposed to have 3 or 5 kind of dwindled down to just 2. But 2 races with Joe Gibbs is pretty incredible.
Well, he also has some Cup guys that say, I think I need more seat time. I think John Hunter Nemechek's like, hey, can I take that race? I want that one instead. And like, oh, Josh, sorry.
A little bit. That's,
you got
that's
a chance.
A little bit what
you
happened.
got a chance to race with Dorian Goslin as well, and you showcased their equipment and raised that to the expectation level. I would say as well.
Yeah, driving for Mario is a lot of fun. I mean, his family-ran team, consists of 10 employees, and we're racing against the likes of Gibbs and Hendrick and RCR every single weekend. Indy, the results were not great, but there are weekends where we run top 15, top 10, and we're racing against the Goliaths of the sport. And it's cool to drive for a family-ran team and race against those massive teams. So, just being in a race car is key every single weekend, and whether it's for DGM Racing, Joe Gibbs, whether it's a sprint car, whether it's the sports car that I'm racing this weekend in Atlanta, just seat time is key.
Josh Blicky started out racing at Badger Raceway. Badger Kart Club is celebrating their 65th anniversary this Saturday. They have a big cookout, points race Saturday, points race Sunday. You're busy, you can't make it, but it's kind of cool knowing you've got that lineage that kart track in Dallasman, Millwright Raceway is a pretty cool way to get kind of your feet wet and get the bug sunk in pretty hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and I still go to Badger as much as I can. Every single week I try to go. So I was there last Wednesday running my shifter kart. It's great cardio, it's great training, but again, just you're behind the wheel. And it's super cool to see for 65 years that they've been in existence. I remember some of my greatest memories of racing were at Badger with my dad when I was ages 4.5 to 12 when we raced there every single Sunday. I still talk to some of my friends that I made at the racetrack. So I'm a little bit bummed that I can't be there on Saturday, but it looks like it's going to be a cool event.
Josh Blicky's a busy guy. MSA 360 sprint cars. You've been running those too around the area. Where are you off to this weekend?
So I leave tomorrow at like 3 a.m. I'm driving to Road Atlanta in Atlanta, Georgia. We're racing a Porsche on Saturday, Sunday in an endurance series. So we share a car. I share a car with 2 different co-drivers. 7-hour on Sunday, 8-hour on Saturday. So
you're talking 7-hour endurance race on one day and going back for another hour, add an hour on Sunday.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of racing, and we have a test day on Thursday, practice on Friday. And obviously the Porsche is a lot different than the NASCAR race car I drive. It's a lot different than the sprint cars I've been driving, the midget. But again, it's just seat time. Seat time is key.
And Josh, you've got an experience then to work with a lot of different people, a lot of different levels. Road Atlanta, you might be the guy that's relied upon to give the entire setup and make sure that everything's ready. When you go to Joe Gibbs, they probably say, don't touch anything. Tell us what you need, right?
Well, with my background being road courses, they actually relied on me for a lot of information to set those cars up. Okay. And they actually came back and said after Portland that what they learned from us and from me at Portland helped Ty Gibbs get the pole on the Xfinity Series in the 19 car on Saturday at Sonoma. So, if it were an oval, I think it'd be a little bit different. But one of my strong suits has always been road course racing. So I definitely think that I helped contribute to a little bit of their success this year on the road courses.
You live here in Milwaukee area still.
Yes.
Is there any inkling or want, or hey, you're now married, so it's like, hey, you know what, we should maybe go less than 12 hours to Road Atlanta. Maybe we should move halfway there.
No, unless I get a full-time Gibbs deal or a deal with a race-winning team that requires me to move. I don't think there's a need for me to move yet. It's definitely would be easier on my schedule. I fly out of O'Hare a lot, and I'm in Charlotte quite a bit. Actually, last week you invited me to be on your show, and I was in Charlotte last week. Yeah. So it's not an inconvenience. It just adds a little bit extra travel. But at the same time, last weekend everybody flew from Charlotte to Indy. I drove. There are some pros and cons, but I love this area. Ironically, I graduated from Slinger High School, and I've never raced a Slinger in my life. And I want to change that. I really want to race a Slinger. I grew up going as a fan, just watching. But yeah, I love this area. I don't want to move.
I have every reason to agree with you 100%. Josh, where can we find you on socials? Because I know that you are out there marketing your products. We certainly want to support what you got going on.
Yeah, Josh Balicki on Instagram and X, the old Twitter, and then at Josh Balicki Racing on Facebook.
And when it comes to racing, you are literally funding, marketing, designing paint schemes, pitching these sponsors. You never stop, do you?
No. I mean, unfortunately, without sponsors and without funding, you don't go racing. Whether it's a sprint car I'm driving, whether it's a sports car I'm driving, whether it's the NASCAR race cars I'm driving. I've been very fortunate to have some help this year, but mainly I'm a one-man band.
It's great to have you here in the midst of all of this, joining us on the Racing Roundup Show. But a big hand, everybody, for Josh Balicki joining us here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the Racing Roundup Show. That's called TV magic right there. Put that in the bank. Now I want to talk about how much time of your day gets into, okay, I've got to make this call. This guy said call me next week Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I mean, all those things are always revolving and evolving, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm sure there's a lot of self-employed people here. You never really take time off. I mean, even if you're on vacation, you're working, you're answering emails. I'll be driving tomorrow for 13, 14 hours to Atlanta. I wish I was flying, but with all the delays, it's just going to be easy for me to drive. I'll probably be on the phone for half of that. So a lot of cold calls, a lot of managing my personal sponsors and make sure that they're happy. But also right now we're kind of shifting focus to next year too. How do I get 15 races at Gibbs? How do we piece together sponsorship from existing sponsors and put all the pieces of the puzzle so we can race 15 races with Gibbs and then complete the season with EGM. So that's just kind of where my head is at. I mean, it's unfortunately I can't relax because I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking about ways we go racing. How do I run the sprint car more? How do I fund the sprint car? I'm not making $1 million like some of these NASCAR drivers, so obviously somebody needs to pay when I go sprint car racing. And my goal for the end of the season with the sprint car is to get into 410. But obviously that costs more. So
we were talking to him earlier. I'm sure he's got maybe a spare roller just to try. I don't know.
He's got some tear-offs. He sold me some tear-offs a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it's a constant grind for sure. I mean, being at the racetrack is definitely rewarding, but there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes that goes into it to get to the racetrack.
And do you ever get a chance to go, wait a minute, I think I talked to John, not Joe. Oh boy, I just sent an email to John, not Joe. Does that ever happen? Because I would think it'd be critical because every touch point you have has to be like perfect, right?
Occasionally it happens where I make a mistake and maybe I actually even sent the wrong deck, with the rendering towards Interstate Batteries to their competitor. But it's never bit me, not yet.
Good. Keep that up. Now that you're married and your wife's hanging out with you, I saw your dad and your wife at the Chicago Street Course.
Nice.
That was cool.
Yeah.
They were in the pits hanging out. I was walking through on Friday. Was your sister?
Yes.
So I saw your dad and then I saw a girl walking with him. I thought it was your wife. Sorry.
Probably my sister.
I glanced. I'm like, oh, that's got to be the wife. No. But your family's still part of this. They want to be there everywhere you are.
Yeah. My dad and my sister came to Indy last weekend. My wife hasn't been to many races yet.
Okay.
This year she's busy. She works normal job.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, my dad comes to as many races as he can. We were at Chicago Street Circuit racing Saturday, Sunday this year. They were in Indy with me on Saturday, last Saturday, just a couple days ago. So it means a lot, and it's enjoyable for me to be with my family at the racetrack because I grew up racing every single weekend with my dad. Just managing our own karts, working on our karts, into road racing. We always did our own thing.
Yeah.
And some of the best memories I have with my dad and my family are at the racetrack. So it's cool to share those memories. It's changed a little bit being in NASCAR now. It's a job. And obviously. It's different because I'm not working on the race cars. Some of the best memories I have with my dad are like being at the racetrack at at Road America at 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Just finishing up maintenance of the race car before race day, and it's relaxing and it's enjoyable. But it's a little bit different now, but it's cool to have them at the track.
One last question for you. In terms of sponsors, it's so hard to find them and grab them and keep them, and then you also have to worry about who's going to knock on their door as soon as you bring them to the racetrack and the logo's on the side of your car. For those who are watching that want to get involved or have a sponsor and then they get the sponsor to say, hey, I'm talking to someone else about maybe doing something else. How do you prevent that? Is there a way to do that?
That's tough because that happened to me this last year. One of the biggest sponsors I've ever had ended up going to a different route with a team that I brought them to a couple years ago. And it's, you need sponsors to go racing. I think the biggest piece to that is making sure the sponsor's happy. Asking the sponsor every single week, and what can I do better? And if there's something that I can do better, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, please tell me. If you want to go try to win races, let's go try to win races. In the Xfinity Series rather than run 30th in Cup.
Yep.
But just at the end of the day, you're a salesman, and you need to make sure that your customers are happy. With those phone calls, emails, whatever it is. But just they're more than a sponsor too. Making sure you have that relationship with them. Don't treat them just as a sponsor. Treat them as a friend. Treat them as a friend. Make sure that relationship is good off the track too.
You have a lot you've accomplished. We're proud of you. We're excited to know that you're still doing this and you're still kicking butt. You're getting great opportunities. I smiled. I'm still smiling every time I say Josh Blicky, Joe Gibbs Racing Driver. That takes a lot of effort, and it's just a matter of saying you're building this. You're still building this, and we can't tell you how proud we are to see this progression.
Well, I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
How about a big hand for Josh Blicky, everybody, joining us on the show. Josh Blicky Racing on Facebook, Josh Blicky on Instagram and X. Cool dude, hanging out with us. He brought some T-shirts along to give away. He has hero cards if you want his autograph while he's hanging out with us. By all means, we love having racers, especially guys that live just down the road on our show. And Josh, thanks again for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You betcha, we appreciate it. We got Scotty Neitzel hanging out with us. We got Lou Goss hanging out with us. We've got Dalton Zier and John Beal. I think they're done with the pizza. We'll find out how good it was after these messages on the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports.
This Saturday at Dell's Raceway Park, it's Kalahari Resort Summer Splash. 5 exciting divisions of racing featuring the late model Sportsmen and Bandits in double features. Plus a full program for the 602 Outlaw late models and 6er Nation Street Stock. Fan gates open at 3, qualifying at 4:30, green flag racing at 6. Get your advance tickets online now at save at DellsRacewayPark.com. Dell's Raceway Park, located 2 miles west of I-90-94 and exit 85 just off Highway 12. Dell's Raceway Park, Wisconsin's family destination racetrack.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Organize like the pros with Hefner Racing Products. Take your trailer to the next level. Upgrade your garage, streamline your shop. Whether you're tearing up the track or tackling home projects, Hefner Racing Products has you covered with the best made and widest variety of organizational accessories made right here in Wisconsin. Shop online now at hrpracing.com.
Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to our program. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday evening. It's July 23rd. We're hanging out. It's about mid-season, right? Well, we're getting rolling. Heck with those rainouts. Now we're getting some heat of the summer. Some really good races coming up. I'd like to remind you that Victory Fuel can replenish you, hydrate. It's got some good electrolytes. It's got some vitamins in there. It's kid-friendly, 0 carbohydrates, 0 calories. No, it's I'm reading the label. Hang on. I'm going to read it right here. It says, caffeine-free, electrolytes, kid-friendly, no coloring, low sugar, daily vitamins. There are some carbs in there, but it's delicious. If you want your own, go to drinkvictory.com, go online, and when you're checking out, type in the word SHOW, SHOW, to save 10% at checkout, and Kevin Swindell will mail it right to your door. He has a couple of Hy-Vee stores in Wisconsin that are selling it, but Victory Fuel is delicious. And Kevin Swindell is making that stuff, and we want to tell you more about it. And if you want to buy some, save 10% by using the word SHOW at checkout at drinkvictory.com. This portion of the show is brought to you by Allied Resource Recovery. Turn your recyclable metals into cash. ARR has locations in Waukesha and West Dallas. You can find their full list of accepted metals of how to turn your recyclable metals into cash at ARR1938.com. I'd like to remind you this Saturday and Sunday are points races at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, home of the Badger Kart Club. Join generations of Badger Kart Club racers as the club is having their big 65th anniversary celebration cookout this Saturday afternoon. I'd like to tell you we now have arrangements for my friend and racer Dean Billings, who passed away on July 10th at age 68. It's been 25 years since a racing accident affected Dean's life and his family's life, as he was in care of family and for a lot of other people getting involved until his passing. Visitation for Dean Billings will be on Thursday, August 1st in Waukesha at Church and Chapel. Its address is 380 Blue Mountain Road in Waukesha. Just look up Church and Chapel in Waukesha. The visitation's from 4 to 7, and the memorial service will follow at 7 o'clock. So if you got a story to tell about Dean, or if you want to pop me an email, they asked me to say a few words as well, so I guess I'm going to be kind of like the quarterback of that deal. So if you want to hang out and talk about Dean, or if you have a story to tell and you want to give it to me to read, I will be happy to share your message about how Dean affected you and how much we miss the guy. And Dean's, again, visitation is on August 1st, Church and Chapel in Waukesha, 4 to 7, memorial service to follow. It's time for the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report for cameras and alarm systems for your home or business, program card access, custom-made security doors, on-call locksmith work, and more. It's a lock. Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. They protect what you value. Grand Forks, North Dakota's Mark Dobmeyer won all 3 bumper-to-bumper Air Outlaw sprint races contested in Minnesota and North Dakota over the weekend. A couple of other guys did okay. Danny Schlafer finished 5th. He's up to 3rd in points. We got the guy sitting next to me finished 5th in points. Next up for the IRA Winged Outlaws is the Friday night at the Harry Neitzel Tribute Race at Dodge County Fairgrounds with the MSA 360s. And Saturday night at the Plymouth Dirt Track. More details with our next guest. Let's bring him in right now. This Friday's a big deal. He is a driver that has won 2 bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series championships. It's a race that means a ton to him and a ton to a lot of people, especially when there's MSA and IRA cars on the car. Let's welcome in Scotty Neitzel. Scotty, thanks for coming down.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me down.
This season, like any other, is competitive as all get out. It seems like it's like, who's going to win this week? It's got to be kind of fun being up to the challenge once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the IRA series is probably more competitive than it's been in quite a while again. A lot of young talent coming up through the ranks. We were really pretty darn good earlier in the summer here. Now the last month or so we seem to really be struggling. Don't really know why. Can't really put our finger on that. We're just struggling early in the night and not putting ourselves in a good position for late in the night. Really looking forward to getting back to some racetracks that maybe we're a little more familiar with, to work on some setup things with a little different race car we've been running this year compared to the last few years. So really looking forward, but absolutely the series has been really high with young talent, to be honest with you.
So how much of a struggle is that, knowing you've got really good equipment, you've been really good with the same equipment year upon year, but now you're like, nope, let's try something else. We got to progress with this thing. What's it been like?
Yeah, well, you just got to kind of, roll with the punches a little bit, I think I have a certain feel that I need to have in my race car, as maybe some of the young kids don't. They don't know what they want to feel or what they expect to feel. We couldn't find that for a few years. We went to a little bit different style race car, and we found that feel again, and we ended up winning some races, and we're really competitive. And I think we headed back a different direction as we struggled last year, and I feel like I said, in the spring we were off to a good start. We won Wilmot. We were second the week before at Plymouth. We were hard charger at the first Outlaw show, and I just sort of kind of just went downhill from there. So I think maybe we got ourselves off track, away from some of the basics a little bit. We're kind of headed back in that direction this week, I think, in the right direction, where we can hopefully get a little speed out of the 2W car.
2 nights. Saturday night is Plymouth, but all the effort for you, I'm sure, and the focus is this coming Friday night, the Harry Neitzel Tribute Race. You get to hang out. I think I've seen it in person. You actually are handing out the trophy in Victory Lane because it's the race named after your dad and in honor of him.
Yeah, either I hand it out, depends how busy my night is, or my wife, Brenda Lee, has handed out a couple of them as well, But, yeah, it's a great event. Harry was quite a character. My dad was, especially with, around the racing world. I think anybody around the open wheel world for sure knew him and had spent some sort of time with him, or has a particular story of something that went on with him. It usually involves cheeseburgers or a lot of bad gossip too. But he was just a good guy and really enjoyed the sport of racing. Never raced himself, but would gave his shirt off the back to do anything for especially open wheel racing in the state of Wisconsin. So I'm really proud of that. Proud to have a race, in tribute of him, and really hope that we can get my own car a little better. We've been in the top 5 in it, I think, just about every time, but never been able to pull off a win. So really looking forward to, running some solid laps and trying to get right to the front of that thing.
That's this Friday night. You go to IRAsprints.com, the website for the series, to find out more information. Dodge County Fairgrounds, there's 2 tracks in Beaver Dam where Scott lives. There's the little track. This is on the big half mile, the big horsepower half mile, Dodge County Fairgrounds. That's no small task with a 410 Winged Outlaw sprint car. How much fun is that, racing that place and getting on it?
Yeah, boy, back in the day, I really loved going to that place, and I still like going there. You change a little bit as a driver as you age, I think,
Yeah.
but that's still probably one of my top 3 favorite racetracks. It's just super fast, For a half mile, it's probably a little bit slower of a half mile compared to some of them around the country. I think that only contributes to the fact that it's pretty tight cornered. For me, that usually fits my driving style. I'm usually pretty good on long straightaway, tight cornered racetrack. Seems like we can keep the car rolling pretty good around the tight corners and get back going forward in a hurry usually. So really looking forward to it. I think the fans get to see something a little different there. They don't get to see every week at other dirt tracks around the area, a little bit bigger straightaway speed and so forth.
So I think your dad has an affinity to the MSA 360s, but also it's got to be something you're proud of too, knowing that there's drivers that are coming along, and Ben Schmidt, Brandon Berth, Alex Pekorski, TJ Hattie, they're top 4 in points, but their last names have been around this racing deal for a long time. Schmidt, Berth, Pekorski, and Hattie. And Ben Schmidt's the same Ben Schmidt. He's got a little salt in his beard now. But it's kind of fun that they're part of the program as well on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my dad had a little bit to do with each of them guys getting going racing and helping them through some particular struggles at one time or another. And I think that's part of what he really enjoyed, was getting to know the drivers and helping them get headed in the right direction a little bit. So, yeah, it's been the MSA group was always really dear to him. I think he really respected, enjoyed what I did, branched out in the IRA world, but it's kind of a next step up, a next level, and maybe not quite as grassroots as what maybe the MSA group still is. And I think that's where my dad really enjoyed seeing those guys that do that sort of thing at that level. And that group of cars has come an awful long way. It's a pretty competitive little series. So really happy to have them part of that race. And I think for me, they will always be part of that race. It has to be an MSA race tied to my dad's name.
Scotty Notso joining us. The Harry Neitzel tribute race is this coming Friday night, Dodge County Fairgrounds, the horsepower half mile. You're sitting there in points. Scotty Thiel's leading, IRA points. Jake Blackhurst is second. Danny Schlafer third. You're 5 points out of fourth with Tyler Rankin, and you're only 12 points out of Jordan Goldsberry. I mean, you're right in the thick of this thing. The traveling's a little different now. You got a few more different racetracks. How's that all balanced out for you so far? I think it's going pretty well, according to the point sheet anyway.
Yeah, I guess you look at the point sheet, it's going pretty good. But like I say, the last month we've really been struggling. Until you told me that, I had no idea where I was in points, to be very honest with you. Not that the point thing doesn't matter to me. I love chasing the points thing, too. I'd love to win another championship. I just don't know if that's where we're at right now. Okay. Really want to just get the car back underneath me and win some races. That's what I really want to do. Been there, done that, won a championship. It was great. Love to do it again, but if the cards aligned, the stars aligned, I think we could do that. But at this point in the game, I think we just need to focus on getting the car underneath me and trying to win some races. There's nothing like that feeling, of when we won at Wilmot a month ago or so there, it's just it's been a little bit and you really forget what that feeling's like, So that's really where we're at, what we want to do, just get out there and try to win a few more races before we're done this year and see what next year brings,
Scotty's got a brand new line of apparel, all sizes, all colors. Who's on there that helps you support it, and you're supporting their colors this year, Scott?
Yeah, so I got a couple that support me. Emergency Starting and Towing from Watertown has been helping me the last few years, been a great friend of mine for many years. Northwest Cable Construction's been helping me for quite a while now again as well. Falby Auto Body has painted every race car I've ever owned but the very first one.
So don't bother with getting your car painted orange. It doesn't have any. That's on the side for Scotty's car.
Yeah, so I can't anything and everything home improvement. All of these are people, as Josh said, that you build a relationship with. All of these people have become pretty good friends of mine.
Yeah.
We all kind of have that same common goal, what we're trying to do. We try to run a race team very respectable and try to represent the sport really well. So they're great people, and I sure couldn't do it without them, that's for sure.
You've done a great job supporting, showing your support of them, and your family's been there as well. How about the crew? Who's helping you on that car on a Wednesday night when the mosquitoes are getting you? That kind of thing.
Yeah, so our crew's kind of been limited a little bit these last few years as well, but I got to thank all the guys that have helped me. Rick Lemansky has been my crew chief forever. He's my godfather, and he's I can't say enough about the amount of work he does. Rick's 78 years old, and he's at the race shop right now taking the generator out because it's got to go get fixed tomorrow to get it back for Friday. So
wow.
That's the sort of guy Rick is. He just keeps picking away at it. Brian Mason, Joe Fisher, Kyle Newman, those three guys there have put a lot of effort in. John Alexander, a good friend of mine, has been with me a long time. Those guys, at any given point in time, I have two of those guys with me anywhere I go, it seems. So can't thank them enough for all of their hard work. And I've never done anything alone. Surely wouldn't have accomplished and won the races we've won over the years without all of their help and support.
It's great to have you here hanging out with us. So would you mind, we're ending in the interview by saying, please sign that backdrop. We want to have your name on our 40th year of the banner because you're such an integral part of racing around here. We certainly appreciate all you do, and we wish you the best in bagging that big trophy with Dad's name on it Friday night.
I sure hope so. That would be nice.
How about a big hand for Scotty Knights, everybody? Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks a ton. I want to get some more results in here from our local near and far here. Dodge County Fairgrounds is this Friday night. Harry Knightsville Tribute Race, Saturday night Plymouth with the IRA. Slinger Speedway is happening every Sunday night. Our Slinger Speedway coverage is brought to you by Ricardo's Pizza, located in downtown Greendale since 1970. Ricardo's is owned by racer Richie Locke and his family. Ricardo's Pizza takes pride in their dough, made fresh daily, fresh produce, signature sauce, and best Wisconsin cheeses. You want the best? Order the best at ricardosgreendale.com. This Sunday night at Slinger Super Speedway, watch the Walter Sportsman Division, late models, Slinger Bees, Legends, and Bandos with kids 6 to 11 able to win a kid's bike, backpack, or body panel as part of the kids club. Saturday night at Jefferson Speedway, it was the big Orange Blossom Special, the first annual, big to do. 3 61-lap features honoring current racer Jerry Eckhart, who was there, who's been racing now for 59 years. Mostly Saturday nights at Jefferson, Sunday nights at Slinger Speedway in a sportsman or a late model. Congrats to past show guest Kevin Zielinski on his first Midwest Truck Series victory this past Saturday at Jefferson. Nice job, Kevin. Jeff Holtz is new the point leader as he finished 6th. Home track favorite Casey Johnson won the overall super late model title, twin 61-lappers. Casey won the first one after passing Jordan DeVoy with just 2 laps to go, then lined up in the 11-car invert in the second feature and raced his way up to 3rd to finish overall number 1. Gabe Summers won the second race over tonight's show guest, John Beal. We'll talk to John about that in a minute. This coming Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway is a big points night for the winged and Wisconsin wingless sprints and IRA Lightning sprints. Gates open at 5 p.m. The Wisconsin wingless also race Sunday night with the Badger Midgets at Angel Park Speedway on Racer Reunion Night with the Badger Midgets, inducting their first class in the Hall of Fame in the afternoon in Sun Prairie. CK Contractors LLC brings us the Wilmot Raceway and Wisconsin Wingless Sprints coverage. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavation, retention pond building, and more. Visit ckcontractorsllc.com to begin the process and to learn more. For the first time, the World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment late models are racing at Wilmot Raceway this Monday night, July 29th. If you just tuned in, click on our YouTube channel to watch my interview earlier on this show with current point leader Brandon Shepard. So it's great to see B-Shep on the program with us live. Join the racing crowd this coming Monday night. Gates open at 5. On-track activity with hot laps at 6:30 with the World of Outlaw late models and IMCA modifieds. It all starts at 6:30 on track. There'll be 2 races last week. There were 2 races last week that honored Tom Reffner. Our Bill Holland will go in the groove later on, capturing Wednesday night's highly anticipated Tom Reffner 88 Classic at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. At one point, Oak Creek Automotive sponsor Johnny Sauter and Jeff Stormer racing 1-2 in the feature. We'll have to find out how they finished in Bill's report here in a little while. Saturday night, the Blue Knight 88 at Golden Sand Speedway also featured the Reffner family. The feature was won by Ty Fredrickson over a pesky Brock Heinrich, and tonight's show guest John Beal. So John was a busy guy. We'll talk to him about it here in just a few moments, I promise. 19-year-old Kyle Stuckley won the ASA Stars National Tour race. The Canadian Racing for Rhett Jones Racing won the Red Bud 400 at Anderson Speedway on Saturday night. I was there calling it for the stream. You can watch the race on demand on tracktv.com or catch the intense racing on my call of the action on MAV TV, not this Monday night, but the next Monday night on MAV TV on television. So that's kind of cool. Lots went on there. A lot of racing, over 400 laps. Cole Butcher set fast time. He was told, he and his teammate, your cars don't meet spec. You got to go to the back. So he had to start at the rear of the field. Took the lead on lap 142 for the first of 3 times. He looked really strong. He got a run through the infield one time in close competition. That kind of messed up his nose and his day. He did not win the race. Steckley had a really good car. Not a mark on it, over 400 laps. Nice job by Kyle Steckley to win the race. Austin Nason, he's been on our program. He ended up finishing 2nd. Gio Ruggiero and Wisconsin NASCAR Cup Series driver Derek Kraus finished 4th in his very first visit to Anderson Speedway. If you subscribe to Racing America or watch this series, search for this, you got to see this. It's a really good article by my friend Zach Evans regarding the High School Racing Association. They've got dirt tracks, they've got pavement tracks in the state of Wisconsin and Illinois, 9 tracks in total. They are high school kids. Some of them are getting high school letters like they're playing sports. It's a letter sport at some high schools. It started at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway and Madison International Speedway. It's really cool. Got a chance to talk to him at Slinger at the Nationals. Saturday night at the Dells Raceway Park, JoJo Fatke of Lowell, Indiana, and Giovanni Sali of Rockford, Illinois, won the 2 American Super Cup features that accompany the nighttime monster truck show. Tonight's DRP coverage is sponsored by Diamond Wheels, your destination for stock car, road racing, autocross, beadlock wheels for off-road and dirt track, custom chrome finish wheels, and more. It's diamondracingwheels.com online. This Saturday's double features in the Kalahari Summer Splash for late models, sportsmen and bandits. Spectator gates open at 3, qualifying at 4:30, racing at 6. Purchase your tickets in advance and save at dellsracewaypark.com. Will Source, sponsored by Source Services, raced from 8th to his first feature win at the Plymouth Dirt Track on Saturday night in his Grand National. Taylor Scheffler held out 5-time Plymouth Dirt Late Model Champ and BMRE Electric Karts owner Brad Miller to win the late model main event. And congrats to the entire class of inductees into the Plymouth Dirt Track Wall of Fame. The Wall of Honor, including these championship-winning drivers that I had the pleasure to announce at stock car and modified races at Plymouth from July 22nd, 1989 through the 91 season. They include Randy Marquardt, Donnie Gaydon, Pete Ostrowski, and KJ Skelton. They're now in the official Plymouth Wall of Fame. Pretty cool. Last Thursday night, Chad Butts won at Wisconsin International Raceway again. Defending champ at the track, Sawyer Efforts looked like he had it in the bag, but his car just pulled up lame at lap 22 of the 35-lapper. And from then on, Chad took control over the final 11 to win the race. We'll be at Kaukauna in 2 weeks' time for our show. Thank you to Lake Park Pub in Menasha and the DeAngelo's Construction for sponsoring our road show. We'll be out at the front gate at Kaukauna for the big Gandry Auto Group 250, Gandry Performance Group 250, and Midwest Truck Series Dixieland Delight 35, sponsored by Ken Sports. Ken Sports proudly sponsors our coverage of WIR. Their Green Bay location and Kaukauna location. They are Wisconsin's largest power sports dealer, home of the best names in fun, new and used, two wheels on the road, trail riding, around the water. Visit kensports.com and kensportsgreenbay.com. We also like to congratulate Moneybags, recent Racing Ground Show guest David Gravel, who is now known to be as King David. He won the $175,000 Kings Royal World of Outlaws sprint car race Saturday night at Eldora Speedway. Wilmot Raceway Larry Hillerwood Classic Outlaws race winner Donnie Schatz raced from 20th to the lead with 8 laps to go. Gravel rode the rim to get back to the lead and said, I don't like running that high, but I had to, man. It's the Kings Royal. Gravel passed the 10-time champ and won that race. Gravel also won $100,000 on a Thursday night in the High Limits Joker's Jackpot feature. So of the World of Outlaw drivers, they get 4 races outside of the Outlaws to race. A lot of them raced Wednesday and Thursday night, and Gravel pocketed the $100,000 racing with the High Limit cars at Eldora as well. We also want to tell you that tonight the High Limits sprint cars are racing in Lernerville, Pennsylvania. That's on Flow Racing right now. I think that's it for now. I also want to tell you I'm so excited that Ty Majeski won a NASCAR race. He won the truck race on Friday night. I got so excited talking to Josh Blicky about Wisconsin representing. Ty won the race. Luke Fenhouse finished 7th. It was awesome. I was working for NASCAR Productions on the pit road, and I'm telling you, man, when Ty got that penalty for jumping the start, that didn't take long for Ty to go, okay, I got my truck. I got a little anger. Got to get my boys back in shape. And Ty just wheeled his way right through the field. It was amazing to watch on that racetrack. Those trucks are off the gas a long time, not Ty's. He was on the gas early like you'd expect. And Majeski wins and locks in the playoffs, which begin here across the street at the Milwaukee Mile on Sunday, August 25th. Get your tickets if you didn't have them already. Ty will be racing, so the ARCA guys in the Sprecher 150. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Marco Andretti, that guy, Marco Andretti, who's running 19 Indy 500s, he's racing in both the truck and the ARCA race at Milwaukee on Sunday, August 25th. So it's kind of fun to tie that all together. Remember Marco taking his Indy Lights test here back in the day, and that's got to be more than 19 years ago because he's been in the Indy 500 for 19 years, so it tells you how old I am. Hey, we got a lot to cover on the show. We got Dalton Zier, we got John Beal hanging out with us, we got Lou Goss hanging out with us, we got some more racing to talk about. Come on down and join us. We're hanging out at Paulie's Pub and Eatery tonight. We got great chances to win great prizes after the show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Since 1997, Weir's Machine has been innovating the finest products in the racing industry. We also manufacture the Ultra Force load machines and develop the Ultra Force suspension software, which allow you to take your program to the next level. Proudly made in the USA, champions across the country choose Weir's Machine and Ultra Force to take them to victory lane. Shop now at weirsmachine.com and ultraforcetech.com.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Belansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Dallas.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need three things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For 35 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emission testing, tires, and complete auto, truck, and SUV repair. From oil changes to transmission replacement. 414-761-3250 to schedule your free inspection appointment. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th in Drexel to the experts at Oak Creek Automotive.
Grassroots drag racing is open to everyone at Great Lakes Dragway in Union Grove. Make GLD your home track. Come and enjoy the show or challenge your friends to be part of the show. Bracket racing for all classes and juniors opens this weekend. Pro classes, street classes, and even bikes and sled classes. Check our website for the most updated calendar and upcoming big shows. GreatLakesDragaway.com.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Lots of great racing going on around the state of Wisconsin, the upper Midwest, and across the world of motorsports. We cover it all for you every Tuesday night. Next Tuesday, we're back here at Polly's Pub and Eatery for another great show. Looking forward to having you join us here if you can't make it this evening. You can watch the show anytime you want on RacingRoundupShow.com. You can also watch on our YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe and like our show and share it with your friends. Looking forward to that. And a lot of friends are saying, hey, Facebook Live, man, that's the place to go. Like our show on Facebook and watch it anytime you care to there as well. And click on our sponsor logos if you could, and on our website, RacingRoundupShow.com, and give them a follow, and make sure you buy some of their products, as they make this show possible. IRA Sprint Car fans, let's race 2. The bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series brings their 900-horsepower Thunder to a pair of Wisconsin's favorite tracks this weekend, Friday, July 26th and Saturday, July 27th. Friday night, the IRA Outlaw stormed in the high-speed Dodge County Fairgrounds for the annual Harry Neitzel Tribute. And then on Saturday, the series moves to Sheboygan County Fair Park in Plymouth. At the Plymouth Dirt Track, see the IRA Outlaws with the MSA Sprint cars both nights. Friday night at Dodge County includes IRA, MSA, and IMCA mods, and Saturday at Plymouth includes IRA, MSA, and Sport mods. Tickets available at the gate or order yours in advance. The website, irasprints.com. Let's race 2 this Friday and Saturday night, July 26th and 27th. Come feel the thunder. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Midwest Truck Series, which is supported by Pathfinder Chassis and Wagner Automotive. Congrats to Kevin Zieleszynski for winning at Jefferson. Next up for the truckers is the Dixieland Delight 35, presented by Ken Sports on Tuesday, August 6th, as part of the ASA Midwest Tour Gander Performers 250 race night. And we'll be there with our live road show. For all the latest news and series info, visit MidwestTruckSeries.com. Another reminder, we also have our show every Saturday, half an hour at 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays in Milwaukee on CW18. We take 30 minutes of our show each week and put it there, so looking forward to having you tune into that as well and support the sponsors that make that program possible. We have drivers sitting next to me that are called the drivers tonight who are making the cut. Racing teammates that also alternate as each other's crew chief when not driving. Making the cut, Asphalt Services services the entire state of Wisconsin. Across the Badger State, all roads lead to Making the Cut Asphalt Services. For brand new asphalt paving, patchwork, crack filling, and seal coating, it's got to be Making the Cut Asphalt Services. Visit their website, mtcasphalt.com, right now to get started. Right now, here's this week's drivers who are making the cut from Gildan Racing. Dalton Zier, John Beal. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
You let me talk for like 4 straight minutes just then. You guys are probably waiting all night to say, you know what, Jim, I got something to tell you. But it's great to see you guys are running well. 2 podium finishes a week, you guys. I mean, John's getting the drive, you're getting to call the shots. It was a pretty successful Refner week for you guys.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
It was a lot of fun. Friday for Tundra, we went up to Golden Sand Speedway, qualified 6th, ended up 3rd in the heat race, I think, and 4th in the feature. So that was a good run. Third in the feature.
Yeah.
Coming from the back there at the invert, so that was fun. And then Jefferson, the show put on there Saturday night is something I've never seen before. If you missed
in what way?
The whole atmosphere. The parking lot was sold out. They were parking about 200 cars, in the back campground. The stands were full. The excitement, and honestly, everyone was having fun. No points. Show up, race, do it in memory of Jerry Eckhart for being such a great racer for this many years, and we just had a lot of fun and ran really good. Dalton and the entire Gildan Racing team were on point. Qualified third. I was impressed with that. Finished sixth in the first feature, third in the heat, and second in the second feature.
Yep.
That's really good stuff.
Yeah, it had real potential. I think what was exciting about the race was that there were, 6 different possibilities of like somebody winning the second segment. I'm not sure what the first segment was like because it was very busy in Spotterville trying to Jefferson
get him forward.
Jefferson's a lot of 2 wide, 3 wide, slicing and dicing, and so I was busy. I didn't see much of the lead race, but the second segment, I mean, the front, at least the front 6 guys felt like they could win it at one point in that race. So it was very racy. It felt like a race from 20 years ago. I mean, it felt like I was watching my dad's race.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the place
cool.
is packed.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of racing going on all around the track. So it was a good show. Really cool, and I hope they do it again next year.
So I saw Kevin Zelazinski's picture in Victory Lane. He was wearing this hat. I'm like, is that a Jerry Eckhart hat? Did Jerry take his hat off his head? Was that like was that like the trophy? Did he get like a Jerry Eckhart hat, or did he have his own?
Not that I know of.
All
There
right.
were a bunch of trophies. I don't think the hat was one of those, but Jerry being there, they just had this really cool Camaro up front. We all got our picture taken with them. And Jefferson, it's a small little place, and you go around there, and the stands are packed. And it's like there's a lot of people right there. It was just really cool and a lot of fun.
Yep. You guys are on your game, man. I know that you really do well at Marshfield and Golden Sands, and when it comes time to play at Jefferson and then the stacked field you guys are against, that's a lot to really be proud of.
Definitely. I mean, our goal always when we go to the track is to finish in tech, because the way I feel it in racing is that it's just about consistency, putting the cars in the top 3 and being in tech, and the races will come. That's just the way statistics work. So that's our focus when we go to the track, and we've been getting it done. We've had cars that are capable, even if it doesn't happen, but they've been right there.
Dalton Zier, John Beal joining us from Gildan Racing, and I know on occasion you guys both are racing Gildan race cars.
Yep.
And on occasion, John's watching you race and call the shots as a crew chief. You have this past weekend did a great job with John racing those 2 big races, 3 races really if you count both 61 lappers. When it comes to the communication, how's that going for you guys? And knowing what you know as a driver, and things may change. You're like, hey, John, we got to figure this out now because I've been to Jefferson as recently as last year, and this is what we got to focus on, kind of thing.
It's actually really interesting, the dynamic. We've been doing this together for 5-6 years, and it's. I know you hate to hear this. Him and I do this to each other all the time, but it's like the car has to be loose, or you know what I mean? It's like you're in the car and you're like, oh my God, it needs this, it needs that, and that, and then he'll chime in. It's like, well, tough. You're going to drive it this way, and I try and do the same thing with John sometimes. It's like, yeah, I hear you, but I remember what you told me a week ago, and that's what I'm seeing from outside the car.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's an interesting dynamic. I don't know of any other team that has that where both guys are drivers and both like play the crew chief role.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's an advantage in a lot of ways, and we're capitalizing on it.
2018, you won the ASA Midwest Tour Championship. Mm-hmm. Is that about the time you guys started pairing up, or right after that, or before that?
The year after, yep.
So now you got this guy winning all these wins races, and John, you're progressing, you're making a difference, and now you guys are communicating. You guys are gelling now. What do you feel you're helping him with, and what do you, vice versa? You go first, John.
I think it goes back and forth. I take his positives, and he takes my positives. He was talking about something funny I want to go back to is it's always different when you're in the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just like Saturday night, he's like, we lined up on the front row. They had sent the front row to the back for 2 bad restarts, and we're lining up on the front row. He's like, let's go for the win, and I'm just like, no, let's finish. And he goes, let's go for the win. I'm like, well, let's finish. And I do the same thing when he's in the car.
Yeah.
When he's up there, I'm like, go for the win. So that's interesting. But, yeah, we're just learning from each other, to be honest with you. Anything that I see that he's working, I take. And then he kind of sees a few things that I'm doing, and he takes it, and we put it all together, and it ends up really good. Over the last 5 years under competition, we've won over 100 times between championships and fast times and race wins. So it's working out. This year we're down a little bit on the wins.
Percentage-wise, yeah.
Percentage-wise,
Yeah.
but we still have fast race cars, and that, for me and him, that's what is important.
It's a big deal to get it right, and it's hard to get it right every time out. Who decides when the schedule happens, who gets to race and who doesn't?
Dalton's
driving. You guys are both there all the time.
Yep. Dalton came up with an idea a couple years ago that at first I definitely was against, but after I thought about it, we were for it. So we do a spring schedule and we do a summer schedule. And the reason for that is a lot of stuff happens throughout the year that goes on. So we start out with a few things, and whatever works, we keep going with that.
Okay.
And then adjust from there. And it's not what people think. We literally sit down. We're like, "What do you want to race?" And put that down. And what do you want to race? And then he kind of twists my arm a little bit to do some Midwest Tour stuff and some higher stuff. And we just sit down between me and him and my dad and knock out a schedule and go from there.
Yep.
And there is some ties. You guys both get to drive it at certain times, right?
Well, yeah. Usually at the beginning of the season, we'll try and double up, just because getting in the seat's important.
Yeah.
Getting laps is important, and usually I'm doing the Dells races, and John will run them as well at the beginning, just to get the 200 lap race or 100 lap race in. And what's really bad is when he beats me at those events they're supposed to be my event, and I'm like, well, you know what? The spring schedule says that I'm running these races, but maybe you should be. But that's only happened once, I think.
Yeah,
one year.
Jim, when I have TJ Herron as my crew chief and we out-qualify Dalton and the team.
Yeah.
That doesn't go very well.
But you got a lot of pictures to prove it, don't you?
Yep, it happened.
Now it's on the radio, right?
Yeah. Now we have proof forever. It's all over the internet. It's got to be true. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
When it comes to racing the guys, you guys have had a great partnership with First Business Bank, Gildan Activewear. I mean, Gildan Racing. There's a lot to that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Gildan all the way back in the Brian Hoppy
Yeah.
Star Motorsports days. We're several decades through with them. They're a great apparel company, the largest apparel manufacturer in the world. And First Business Bank, they have a office right down the road here in Brookfield, and then they're in Madison down by us up in Appleton. They're great to work with. And the good thing is we work with the motorsports community and all of our sponsors to get them involved. So they're really excited about it.
Yep, the parade is always a big hit too.
Yep. We do the Hometown Days parade in Verona, where Ford Development Group is. They have a lot of real estate in town there, so they love that, the activities with the community, and then inviting them to all the races and all the TV broadcasts that you do. We screen capture that and send it to them because they're up in Canada, they're down in Barbados, they're in North Carolina. They don't have the time to sit through all of it. So even the Racing Roundup show, we screen capture.
Hi, guys.
We screen capture this part of it, and we do a quarterly newsletter. And you're literally the entire quarterly newsletter.
Well,
it's all the Midwest Tour races.
Yeah,
and
but
the
we want to
Racing
support.
Roundup
That's
show.
what I love doing. I want to support. I want to make sure you guys they're aware of it. They're doing their right job. You guys are performing for them.
Yep. So
it's been fun.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I've actually been at their shop in Verona, and there's room. I think maybe for a small BMX bike track. But now Dalton's son turned 5, Maverick. Yep. And I'm guessing he's got a few laps in that shop, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's has a Power Wheels in there that's it's a 3-speed Power Wheels. It does 12 mile an hour with plastic wheels. And, I mean, he burnt the battery out of that thing, right? I mean,
yeah.
But got him a goat cart and going to the track this week. He turned 5 last week. And we're going
real
to the
kid kart? A real go kart?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Badger kart. We're going Badger kart racing soon. Sugar River Raceway.
Jim, do you want a trivia question here for Dalton?
Oh, here we go. I know what the question is.
I'll just sit here and listen.
I can give you the answer.
I'll let you ask. Ask Dalton who the first person Maverick made contact with on the racetrack was.
Yeah. Where do you think he got his first tire mark from?
Yeah.
On the racetrack or in the shop?
On the track.
On the racetrack. Yeah. Who's the first person he hit?
I'm guessing Dad.
Yeah.
He hit you or you hit him?
Yeah, well.
Because, I got to teach him tough love, right? Tough love.
I was looking for him, and he was on my outside, and I didn't know it, and I ran into him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, anyways.
He's a little guy. Did he go flying?
No. He was pumped. He got tire marks. The car's brand new vinyl, needs, changed on the side already.
So you have a cart, he has a cart.
Well, I was in a rental cart,
Okay.
So that I could show him the way around the track and
show him how to get hit.
Yeah.
Survive. And
he's fine with it. It doesn't bother him none. So it should be fun.
So he wants every birthday now to be at a go-kart track, and now you got a go-kart. So now every weekend will be like his birthday.
Yeah, no, he wants to go go-kart racing with the team. is one of the things that he wanted to do for his birthday. We haven't done it yet, but they have rental carts at Sugar River. He wants all the guys to come and run against him because he wants to race them. So
might be some team owners there.
He's got a weight advantage.
A pretty good. That's a fast track.
He's got some weight advantage on all of us.
He does.
But, you know.
Yep. I've always had to pick the faster cart because of the weight disadvantage.
Oh yeah.
When you go to the fun car track. Anyway, if he gets kicked out first, you got to tell him just wait in the car, right? Because you got racing to do.
Oh yeah.
Which would be a first for you, not being the first one kicked out.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean.
Or do you get kicked out first, John?
Let's move on to the next subject.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you guys racing next?
Our next race is at the Dells.
Okay.
In 2 weeks, I believe. 2.5. Yeah. A Live for 5 event.
Yes.
I'll be running it.
Good.
Hawkeye Downs for Midwest
Downs
Tour.
is next for John, and then oh gosh, I don't know what's after that.
Grundy has a special. I want to say it's the Bedenhausen.
Yeah.
Dalton won that last year. I'm going to run that this year, and then we got Fest coming up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Fest. Madison, we got Madison. The
Howie Leto.
Howie Leto.
Good.
I'll be there for that.
Good.
So I really want to do well at Madison. You know, I've had lots of really good cars there. And want to get that win, and then same goes for lacrosse.
Cool.
Yeah. So, going to bring the stats up later this year.
Big time.
That's going to be big.
Anyone else we should recognize or thank? Because now that I'm in newsletters, I feel like I need to get everybody out there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank TJ Heron Photography here tonight, following us everywhere, capturing. The rest of our crew tonight is JD and Alex, so thank them. The real crew's back at the shop working away, so every guy in a red shirt, they're really important. And you and everyone here at the Racing Roundup Show.
Yeah. I want to begin for John Beal and Dalton Zier, everybody from Gildan Racing, guys. Thanks for being on the show. They brought some shirts to give away as well. Gildan shirts, they're really nice. They last a long time. Believe me, I know a few people who wear them all the time. Matter of fact, a couple of people in the audience actually wore their Gildan shirts because they knew you guys were coming tonight, that they won on the show.
Yeah,
kind of
signed a sleeve. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah. We're coming right back. We got Bill Holland in the house talking about the big-time referee race that John and Dalton helped star in. We also have a driver named Lou Goss who's got a lot of things cooking. He also won a scholarship back in the day when he was going to college at UW-Milwaukee. It was the Alan Quickie Engineering Student Scholarship, and he's going to talk to us about how that's still going on and how he's been doing on the racetrack and off the racetrack, supporting racing in a lot of ways. We'll be right back with that and more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And attention contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. And who doesn't like more cash? Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Allis and Waukesha. If you have questions, give them a call. 414-321-4134. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club Points Racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
Glad you bring Bill up. Thank you so much. Hey, we're having a great time here. This is a live Racing Roundup Show. We've been doing it for 40 years. Looking forward to seeing you on a Tuesday night joining us. This coming Tuesday, we're back here at Racing Roundup HQ, Polly's Pub and Eatery. Have a great guest lineup as well. You can find that on our socials, racingroundupshow.com, our website, on our Facebook page, on Instagram and Twitter, or now X, at Racing Roundup. You want to see the racers at Schlafer Auto Body and Landon for your next auto body repair, or your daily driver, or your fleet of work trucks. Since 1974, 4 generations of racers have been getting it done the right way. They work with all insurance companies. Search Schlafer Auto Body on Facebook and get in touch with this family of racers. They can take care of you. This week's Anderson Maple Syrup Racing Spotlight, it's a short track spotlight, shines on a dad of a couple of young kids that look at dad going, let's go racing. Luke Goss is joining us here. Anderson's is a proud sponsor and supporter of World of Outlaws racer Bill Baylog and modified pilot Jason Gross. Try Anderson's made in your coffee or tea or on vanilla ice cream. Take it with you with Pure Fuel, maple energy on the go. Buy Anderson's Maple Syrup at your favorite grocer. Anderson's, over 95 years of syrup perfection. Anderson'sMapleSyrup.com. Let's welcome in now the dad, hanging out with Faye and Hayne. Lou Goss. Lou, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jim.
This is awesome to have you here. Last time we talked to you, it was in UWM at the engineering school. You were a graduate, but more importantly, you also had an Alan Kowicki scholarship while going there as a student, and you're still doing things to help generate that and get some other engineers some help. That's kind of cool. You're still involved with that Kowicki program.
Yep, it's it's one of those things that I still take tons of pride in, and trying to apply it to all of our racing efforts. But kind of over time, after being out of school for a little while, I would see their newsletters come through, but when we went back for the Celebration of Life event last year, I got to talking more closely with some of the staff and realized that the scholarship funds hadn't increased since I had graduated over 10 years prior.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be really fun to work with them in the racing community to raise funds and to work more closely with that program.
Wow. And you kind of are racing where Alan has raced, Kaukauna, other places.
Yep.
It's kind of neat that you get to super late out there and go racing. Last year, Rookie of the Year. That's kind of neat that you can kind of say, all right, not only did I just go to college there, not only did I do that, not only am I like saying, Alan did this with, one guy and one car, and he raced all over. That's kind of what your model, maybe not by design, but by necessity has been. How's it been working through racing and going racing with a young family?
Well, it's been great. It's one of those things I hear Dalton talking about. He's got his young son into racing now, and Hayne raced for 2 years prior to this year. He's got some different thoughts on racing at this moment, but using the things that Alan prided himself in, and doing the things that we learned at the school to progress through our racing efforts has just been great.
So when it comes to racing, I know you also had a NASCAR Truck Series truck you raced in the NASCAR Truck Series. You also, I was talking to this gentleman over here about maybe racing some ARCA races this year, maybe some other NASCAR interests. There's a lot you guys are projecting and trying to get a grasp on and say, let's do this.
Yeah, we've always, growing up, of course, short track racing locally is awesome. I love it. But for some reason, still in my head, there's a goal to go national racing too.
Yeah.
And so we've tried some different things with the NASCAR truck. That was the first time I was on this show 5 years ago at the Harley dealership.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We brought the truck down there, and so since that time, we kind of just went back short track racing, which has been awesome. We've had tons of fun. Worked real closely with Tom G. He and I shared a car for a couple seasons. That was really fun. And then 2 years ago, we purchased a car from Tom and just been running that one on our own.
Yep.
But then rekindled a relationship with a gentleman that I grew up with, and he really wanted to go big time racing too. He's not a racer; he's just a business guy.
Yeah.
Which has been great. Because even being working in the or with the Quickie scholarship people as engineers, maybe business isn't our strong suit, right? And so we got partnered up with someone like him, and it's been great. And it allowed us to purchase an ARCA car last fall from Ryan Sieg. So it was a real nice car. It needed some things to get buttoned up, and we had a couple things not quite follow through. So it really hasn't panned out, but it's always so eye-opening when you get into that industry. It's I remember I tell people when I started racing super stocks, I couldn't believe how someone could afford running a super late model. Now I get into super late model racing, and it's like budget racing compared to some of the big time stuff. But yeah, so we're always kind of striving and just looking for different opportunities and trying to, especially working with a business-minded person, they're always looking to try and find a way to find funds and figure that out. So that's kind of where some of that comes from too.
And then we had Josh Blicky on tonight saying, "Hey, it's time to start looking at next year. What are you guys looking? What's your next target to look at?"
Yeah, in fact, I messaged Josh to see what he was up to next year. Just always looking. You can never start soon enough on the next year. Really is kind of how that works out. You always got to be planning. Always got to be looking forward.
On Facebook, the Lou Goss Racing Team is where you can follow along with what you're doing. Where do you think you'll be at the track next?
I think we're going to start back up here at WIR probably next week. We had a test crash in May that has kind of sidelined us for a little while, which it isn't unheard of, but it was pretty tough on us. And, we want to be a good representative for the sport, and we felt pretty bad about that. But we've got the car obviously back together. It's at least out in the parking lot.
Yep, thank you.
So we appreciate you letting us bring that down.
Yeah.
And so it should be soon. And we plan to race a bunch once we get going. We'll probably do WIR on Thursdays, Norway on Fridays, and then we're going to mix in, a couple other shows in there. Halloween for sure. That's always a great one.
Yeah.
In fact, speaking of the Dells, when we ran the Icebreaker in the spring, we were able to raise over $2,000 for the Quickie Scholarship Fund.
Oh, wow.
Utilizing their 50-50 program. So we've been working with some of the other tracks, trying to keep some of that going. Mm-hmm. We have a goal of $7,777 additional to that scholarship fund this year. So
that's great.
At this point, that's one of our big goals, is to make sure that still happens.
Well, thanks for bringing the car down. Who's supporting you on the car and in the shop and on the race team?
Well, on the car is our main sponsor is EMT International, which fortunately is my employer. And they love racing too, which is great because sometimes it's hard to explain, to your employer about some of your time commitments and such. Nicolay Bank, Mike Hubbard, Sims Realty, Water Sports Bar and Grill, just a ton of great people. And then at the shop, of course, my family. Brought my kids along. They come, love coming to these things. And my wife, we have shop nights are on Monday nights. And last night she made about a dozen brats and 15 chicken breasts probably for all the guys on shop night. And, it takes all sorts of people to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, great to see your family here. Great to see you back on track soon at Wisconsin International Raceway. And who knows, we might see you on Sundays here the way things are going. You got the plans. Sure. Let's go after that ring and grab it, man.
Sure.
How about a big hand for Lou Goss, everybody? Brought down Hayne and Faye with him as well. Thanks, guys, for coming to the show. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks, guys.
Cheer you on, man. We are going to switch gears here. We're going to talk about racing. And specifically the Racing Roundup show this coming Tuesday, July 30th. We're going to be back here at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. We have, I think, if all things go well, Max McLaughlin, who's been racing modifieds, raced in ARCA, raced in NASCAR Xfinity, I think, for a couple. He's actually racing full-time in the World of Outlaw late models. If all goes to plan, before he goes off to Cedar Lake, he's going to race Monday night at Wilmot Raceway and going to join us on Tuesday night here hanging out. So if you want to talk to Max McLaughlin, son of Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin, he's now racing during late models full-time in the World of Outlaws. We're going to talk to him on the show, and he'll be here in person. So that'd be kind of cool to know more about that. Now, next week, we're also going to have probably something from Bill Holland. He's got a lot of things cooking in these days, but we also want to tell you that we have Mike Rurenberg, who's won a race this year at Jefferson Speedway in a late model. He owns Precise Auto and Truck Accessories. Mike will be on our show next week as well, hanging out with us here at Pauley's. We also have Shelley Greenwald, who's going to tell us about the Burn Camp Race Car Show fundraisers. So if you want to find out more about that, you may have seen a few postings on it, but Shelley will be here to tell us more about how you can get involved in that and raise some funds for a camp that is really a worthwhile cause. So we'll talk to Shelley about that. And we're also going to feature Midwest Truck Series driver Aaron Moyer. That's our next week lineup. In 2 weeks' time, we have a road show, a D'Angelo's Construction Road Show at Wisconsin International Raceway in Kaukauna. It's going to be sponsored in part by Lake Park Pub in Menasha. Great little hangout. And we're looking forward to seeing you at the front gate of the Gander Auto Group 250 Midwest Tour Race, as well as the Midwest Truck Series in action. A lot's going on. We now have switched gears. Can you tell we switched chairs? Actually, this chair's been the same. The headset's the same. Different guy wearing it. Let's welcome back our own Bill Holland. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you, Jim.
Thanks for sliding in. You got a lot going on this week.
It's been a busy week, but that's all right.
What you been up to?
Well, chasing races and got to see some, I think, really good events this week.
We got a chance to talk to John Beal and Dalton Zier, who paired up and got really good finishes in those Tom Reffner races. Kiddingly, the family called it Reffner Week. It's kind of cool knowing that you've known Tom for how long and that he's getting the recognition after he's passed on. We want to make sure something's cool and remember Tom in the highest fashion.
I actually knew Tom for the better part of 30 years.
Okay.
He was actually the first race car driver I ever interviewed when I started covering racing. And the plan at that time wasn't to spend the next 30 years of my life covering short track racing, but it's kind of how it turned out, and Tom was a big part of that.
Wow. Patient, I'm guessing. He's like, hang on, you have what again? I have to change my tape. I got to make sure the microphone works. And Tom, I'm sure, as nice of a guy he was probably one of the better guys to kind of latch onto and say, hey, Tom, can I interview you? Because he'd take the time and work through it with you.
Tom was great, and we were pretty organized when we went to interview him, and no pre-phone call, hey, we'd like to talk to you at the track. We just showed up, and he took time to talk with us, and I remember that interview really well. He was very candid. He gave great answers. It was a great conversation. I think about it often.
So when we talk about this program, and I'm going to reset here for a little introduction for proper, because we have a highlight package we show every week called In the Groove here on our show on Tuesdays. We also have a package that Bill edits and we air on our Saturday morning TV show. So I'm going to do this. I usually have a way to kind of introduce it for the TV show, but I'm going to do that now with Bill here next to me. And if you can remember something about Tom, maybe about a minute long. That'd be kind of nice. And we'll roll it right into the package that you have for us. So here we go. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. It's been a great run for Tom Reffner, who's passed away recently. But, man, what a Wisconsin short track legend. Bill Holland's with us. And, Bill, you got a chance to see his family over the years and also see a couple of great races in his honor.
I really did. It was a remarkable week. And the event at La Crosse that we're looking at, it reminds me that I watched Tom Reffner race as a kid when I was probably 10 years old. And he was winning races then, but you go into the 70s, and he just had that phenomenal 1975 season. 67 feature wins. A lot of people know that number. Father Dale Gruba came up with a fantastic statistic, 81 fast times.
Wow.
And a lot of those track records. He didn't just win 67 features that year. He dominated short track racing. It was an amazing season. I got to know Tom later in his racing career. He was racing locally. He was still very, very competitive. In fact, in 97 or 98, he won 3 features in 5 weeks at Marshfield Motor Speedway, and that track was only paved in 95. So it's not like he had 30 years of experience on that place. And when I asked him, how do you do this? He said, well, it races kind of like lacrosse.
Hey, let's go there now with Bill Holland in the Groove this week at La Crosse Fairgrounds Raceway in a race that was named after Tom. It's a twin 44-lap feature. Here we go, in the Groove with Bill Holland at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway.
Hi, I'm Bill Holland in the Groove at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, home of a very special Wednesday night racing event honoring the late Tom Reffner, the very first Oktoberfest champion and one of the greats in short track racing. Tom Reffner won races in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, including 3 Oktoberfest championships at La Crosse. Now, Colin Reffner prepares to race in his grandfather's memory.
My grandpa came to every race in my life that he could make it to. I think the only time he didn't make it to a race is when my uncle was still racing and he was helping him.
Minnesota's Mark Lamoureux raced with Tom Reffner in the old Artgo Challenge Series and races for him tonight.
He was a clean racer and he could run side by side, and I'll tell you, he was really good. Him and Trickle and that whole group back in the 70s, they were Jim Sauter, all those guys were just the cream of the crop.
No one's come farther to race here than Derek Lemke, now living in North Carolina, driving a car from Florida. The son of former Artgo driver John Lemke looking forward to the night.
I grew up watching all these guys race with my dad, looked up to all of them. Pretty sure I have a tote of hero cards from everyone somewhere in storage. So it's cool to come out here and race in honor of them.
For former NASCAR Truck Series champ Johnny Sauter, tonight is a return to his late model racing roots.
It's good money. I mean, who wouldn't want to come here and race? It's hard to believe I haven't raced here during a weekday in the summertime since 1997. So if that tells you anything, it's been a while.
The Tom Reffner 88 Classic is divided into twin 44-lap feature races, each paying $8,888 to win. Sweep both and a driver can pocket $20,000 on the night. Promoter Greg McCarn's on the event.
La Crosse used to be the Wednesday night track for CWRA, and just kind of everything fell into place, and here we are, and paying tribute to Tom Reffner, and hoping to make this an annual event and keep it growing.
Before the action on the Big Oval, the Central Wisconsin Racing Association drivers will race on the La Crosse Quarter Mile. Wausau's Mark Mackesy remembers Tom Reffner as a big part of CWRA racing.
He was always at the meetings and always a vocal advocate of whatever he felt was right to keep the cost of racing down and to keep racing going.
Former CWRA champ Jeff Weinfurter says racing on the small oval is a big change.
Supposedly a couple guys have, I haven't, and that was an adventure, I will say that. We'll see what the night brings.
First-year CWRA driver Dan Linehan's one racer with experience on the quarter mile.
I probably got more laps on the quarter mile than I do the 5/8 mile, realistically. And a lot of these guys, they've never even been on it before, so you take the advantages when you can, I guess.
Mark Mackesy in the 12 and Jeff Weinfurter in the 3 car on the front row as the CWRA drivers take the green for the first of 30 laps in their first feature of the night. Mackesy, the 4-time State Park Speedway champion, with the early lead, but he's got a challenge from Paul Payne in the 27 car. Payne looking to make the pass on the high side. And the veteran out of Mound, Minnesota, makes the outside lane work, taking over the top spot. Late in the going, it's Paul Payne, defending CWRA champ Corey Jankowski second in the 31, Mark Mackesy third, and Dan Linehan in the 4th spot. Coming to the checkers, it's Paul Payne winning the first CWRA feature. Our second feature finds Jeff Weinfurter hard into the turn 2 barrier. The Wisconsin Rapids veteran done for the night. Up front, it's Paul Payne and Corey Jankowski battling for the top spot, with Tyler Sauter running third. Payne makes the pass. Jankowski back to second, ahead of Sauter, Mark Mackesy, and Dan Linehan in the 48 car. Nobody travels farther to compete in CWRA than Paul Payne. This race as close to Minnesota as any on the schedule, and he will double up on the night, winning both CWRA features.
It was fun. It was, a lot of people sideways and bumping and banging, and it was definitely a battle.
The action moves out to the big track for the first super late model 44-lap feature. Bryce Miller out of Columbus, Wisconsin in the 11, and Coon Valley's Matt Henderson in the 33, leading us to green, the field flying into the corner. And trouble early. Billy Moan hard into the turn 4 wall. Back to green, with Henderson battling Jacob Gady in the 72. fast qualifier, Ty Majeski runs third in the 91, ahead of Levon Vandergeest in the 23 car. Gady with the lead, the former NASCAR Weekly National Champion trying to hold off Majeski, the 5-time ASA Midwest Tour champ. Vandergeest and Johnny Sauter in the 5, working to get past Henderson for the 5th spot. Jacob Gady's had a lot of success here at La Crosse, but trying to hold off Ty Majeski is tough duty. 91 to the lead, and here comes Vandergeest in the 23 car. Farther back, Colin Ruffner in the 87 running in the 6th spot. Up front, it's Majeski, first to the checkers ahead of Vandergeest in second.
Seems like just yesterday we just started running here weekly, and time just flies. Been able to win a lot of races together, and anytime you can come back home and defend your home turf is really cool.
Waterford, Wisconsin's Jeff Storm in the 25 and Matt Henderson up front as we go green in the second 44-lapper. The field inverted after the first feature. Caution early. Braden Berge's in trouble on the backstretch. Derek Lemke also involved. Back to green, and Johnny Sauters made his way past Jeff Storm for the lead. Ty Majeski looking for a sweep on the night, third, with Jacob Gady fourth. Caution flies. Colin Ruffner's gone around in turn 4. Johnny Sauter leads. Majeski right there in second. Gady battling with Ty Fredrickson for third, and the 36 goes around. A wild ride for the young Minnesota driver, bringing out the caution, but he'll be able to continue. Up front, new leader. Ty Majeski taking the top spot from Johnny Sauter. Majeski looking at a $20,000 payday if he can win both features. The best battle on the track right now is the race for third. Jacob Gady and Levon Vandergeest side by side on the big 5A Smile. Ty Fredrickson has a fast race car. He's come through the field to fifth, one spot ahead of Colin Ruffner. Coming to the checkers, it's Ty Majeski with a clean sweep on the night in the inaugural Tom Ruffner 88 Classic.
We were for sure going to support it. Appreciate what Greg McCarnes does in trying to give us racers and teams good persons to race for. That's what it's all about. I hope more guys kind of show or see the show that it was tonight and show up next year, and we can make this event bigger and better next year as we move forward.
As much as he travels, it's easy to forget Ty Majeski is right at home here at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. The 91 team reminded us of that tonight. I'm Bill Holland. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who makes this program possible. We'll see you next time we go in the groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
As we should have a round of applause for Bill Holland. Thank you, Bill. That was wonderful work.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate the
We
opportunity.
have the peanut gallery here and glued to the TV. We have a big monitor here at Paulie's on the wall where the band's playing. They put their logo up there. We have Bill's report up there, and everybody's just watching. And we reacted when Ty Fredrickson climbed the wall, climbed that barrier in the infield. That's pretty cool.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah. And you got it all, man. You don't miss anything.
Oh, once in a while.
It's great to see you here. Thanks again for your support and involvement in the show, Bill.
Thank you, Jim.
We're going to wrap things up here this week from the Racing Roundup headquarters. We want to welcome our fans and friends, I guess you call it that, to come to our show next Tuesday. We're going to be hanging out with you here at Paulie's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. How about a big hand for our guest tonight? Thank you, Lou Goss. Thank you to Dalton Zier. Thank you to John Beal. Thank you to Bill Holland. We want to thank everybody for being part of the program. We also want to thank Brandon Shepard for joining us on the program, and Josh Palicki and Scotty Neitzel. We had a big show for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Share with your friends. Say, hey, you want to see something cool? Check out the Racing Roundup Show. We love what we do. Hopefully you love what we do as well and support our sponsors to make this show continue to be possible for 41 years and counting. We're only in year 40. We got a long way to go. Tune in this Saturday as well, 11:30, to CW18 Milwaukee for half an hour of our Racing Roundup Show to help spread the word across Milwaukee television, all across eastern Wisconsin as well. We want to thank Badger Car Club, Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin, making memories travel, Oak Creek Automotive, Allied Research Recovery, American Foundation Specialists. They're all part of our show. They make this show possible. Please support those folks, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Until next Tuesday, support your local racing, set your DVRs, and have at it, racers.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Remember to tell your friends and watch our 30-minute TV show on Milwaukee's CW18 this Saturday morning at 11:30. Like our show on Facebook, follow and interact with us on X and Instagram at Racing Roundup. Join the racing crowd at our live show and win prizes. For our latest show schedule and to watch all of our shows on demand, visit our website, racingroundupshow.com. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, on behalf of our entire crew, this is Dean Strom reminding you to support your local racetracks, set your DVRs, have at it, racers.